All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. We're talking about the Pittsburgh Steelers in tonight's video because we have the NFL Draft Combine 2 days from the time of this recording. We got free agency less than 2 weeks away, and the Pittsburgh Steelers, as we know, have a very coherent team. Right? Defense, they've been very good for a very long time. Now, not even necessarily saying that window is closing or that it's closing quick, but the offense needs to change or it needs to reset. And if the offense is going to reset, just for an example here, if the Pittsburgh Steelers don't retain Justin Fields or Russell Wilson, they don't sign a veteran QB and they go with a young rookie quarterback, for example, like Will Howard, right? Obviously, you're resetting. But Pittsburgh's got way too much talent on both sides of the football to make a big-ass move like that. And I guess the Howard example isn't really the best, but hopefully you get what I'm saying here. Omar Khan, your GM today, Russell Wilson and Justin Fields, they're both interested in new Pittsburgh Steelers contracts, or I should say the Steelers are. So what Khan wants to do, or at least what he said today, is he wants to sign at least one of them before the start of free agency in a couple of weeks. He said the Steelers have engaged with both of the two quarterbacks, and he believes both QBs are interested in returning. Now, he indicated that there will be moves beyond signing a QB to help the offense, and he cited a need for more playmakers. And while he said that, he also said all options are on the table. This has me absolutely amped up. I just am so excited. I'm going to talk about my opinion in tonight's video. But before we do, folks, hit that like button, hit that sub button for daily NFL content. This video, shout out to our sponsor, Mando. We'll get to that in a couple of minutes. But real quick, Russell Wilson, wants to be a part of the Pittsburgh Steelers this upcoming season. All right. Now, Tom Pelissero and Ian Rappaport of NFL Network, 2-ish weeks ago reported that Pittsburgh was undecided about whether they would prioritize Russell Wilson or Justin Fields. Now, just to zoom out before we get into the future here, Russ threw for only 856 yards, 6 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions with a 84.7 passer rating in Pittsburgh's final 5 games. They also could not buy a win for the life of them. Now, Justin Fields, on the contrary, went 4-2 as a starter in the first 6 games, but he only had 1,100 yards, 5 touchdowns, and 1 interception during that stretch. And so Mike Tomlin, there's a reason Mike Tomlin went with Russ, but he obviously went with Russ. So the way I kind of view it is the Pittsburgh Steelers have a couple of different options I want them to explore in free agency / the draft. Now, apparently, no team is locked in on quarterback Aaron Rodgers heading into this free agency class. Now, all right, guys, shout out to our sponsor, Mando. We talked about him last week. I love this. My favorite product 1 week ago was these little deodorant wipes here, but I just went to New York City for the first time ever a couple of days ago, and I got there way too early, and I walked around all of New York City, and my feet were soaking wet. Everything was just wet. My shoes are beaten up in general. Everything was just wet. And I got back to my hotel room, and I brought one pair of socks, give them a nice little smell, and it's like, what on earth are we doing here? And this Mando whole body deodorant, which you can use for pits, packages, and feet, was an absolute lifesaver. In fact, they have a starter pack, and it's perfect for new customers. It's what they sent me here. We got deodorant wipes. Said this, I absolutely love them. We got whole body deodorant in lotion form. We got acidified body wash. We've got, and I love this smell, it's Mount Fuji, whole body deodorant here. And then we got in the stick can, I guess is how you can say it, and then whole body deodorant spray. I absolutely love this stuff. I keep sputtering. I'm speechless. I'm bouncing all over my words. I can't think straight because of all these great Mando products. But guys, as a special offer for listeners, new customers get $5 off a starter pack with code Upton. That is basically 40% of your starter pack. And yeah, you just smell fresher, you stay drier, and it boosts your confidence. So thank you, Mando, for sending this care package. And yeah, use code Upton. Use the link in the description. Let's get back to the video. Diane Russini with The Athletic cited that, the concern is, well, Aaron Rodgers is 41 years old, so the main concern is his age. He also had an Achilles tear in 2023, and he didn't have a good run with the New York Jets. And the advanced statistics are not great. His on paper statistics are not bad at all. It's not necessarily vintage Rodgers because he is 41 years old, but he had a 6.78 adjusted yards per attempt, which was tied for his fewest as a starter in his entire NFL career. He also ranked 25th in the NFL in QBR at 48 per ESPN. So I understand if you don't want Russ back, if you don't want Justin back, and you also don't want a guy like Aaron Rodgers to come in here. But one of the reasons I'm making this video here tonight is because I was reading an article on PFF that gave a perfect signing for every NFL team, and the logic makes sense for the Pittsburgh Steelers. So I want to preface this before I talk about Will Howard and Aaron Rodgers and Russ as well, that I really would enjoy it if I woke up one day and the Pittsburgh Steelers re-signed Justin Fields to a contract. Because, even in theory, let's say they bring in an Aaron Rodgers, but they re-sign Justin Fields, well, let them battle it out in camp. People have question marks about Rodgers in general. Let these two guys battle it out in camp. But the Steelers are like genuinely a wide receiver and a rookie running back away from just kind of finally being an electric offense. And I don't mean, rookie wide receiver in the name of like a guy like Roman Wilson. I'm talking like a first round wide receiver or a big time blue chip-esque free agent acquisition or even trade acquisition. And I don't know, like Amari Cooper, Devontae Adams. I'm not saying either of those two guys the Pittsburgh Steelers should go out there and try and sign or trade for or whatever. But I'm just saying, you need to pair up no matter who the QB is, no matter what the QB future position is with the Pittsburgh Steelers. They need to go out there and continue to get more wide receiver talent / depth. That's just clear cut, right? I would love if they could use a first round draft pick on a wide receiver. I really like that guy out of Mizzou. But anyways, that PFF article said the perfect Steelers signing this offseason would be Mr. Aaron Rodgers. And this is what the guy had to say. Frankly, the most likely outcome to Pittsburgh's quarterback situation is that the team retains either Justin Fields or Russell Wilson. But it is possible the Steelers go with a full reset. Some may view Rodgers as a questionable fit in Pittsburgh from both a schematic and cultural standpoint, but he is arguably the best quarterback veteran available this year. And if the 41-year-old wants a chance at a playoff run in 2025, the Steelers offer him the best chance to make one. And I do agree because Russ uninspired me last year. I was a Russ hopeful. It didn't work out. Right, we saw it in the final 6 games, plus, honestly, even that Russ is just not the answer for the Pittsburgh Steelers quarterback room. In the first 6 games with Justin Fields, he didn't give me enough to just hand me the keys to the franchise and just let him run loose with it. But once again, if the Steelers decide to do that, I'm all right with it. Honestly, whatever the Steelers decide to do, you kind of have to be okay with it. But one intriguing option that I give you is this. Whether you go out there and sign an Aaron Rodgers, or let's say you don't do that and you re-sign Justin Fields, and you draft a guy like Will Howard in the 4th round out of Ohio State. Now, I was reading, once again, another article on PFF, and they had you guys drafting in the 4th round at pick 121, quarterback Will Howard out of Ohio State. He's a well-built QB. He's got really solid accuracy. It's a little hot and cold, but he's got solid accuracy when he's hitting. He can hit all the points of the football field. He had a really bad game against Michigan, but outside of that, he had 12 big-time throws compared to just 2 turnover-worthy plays in his final 7 games of this past 2024 campaign, including the playoff championship run. So if they're going to go with no matter any of these options, Russell Wilson, Justin Fields, Aaron Rodgers, et cetera, if the Steelers were to draft a guy like Will Howard in the 4th round, I'd be very intrigued. All right. Now, folks, that's it for me tonight. We got free agency a couple of weeks away, so stay tuned. Hit that like button, hit that sub button for daily NFL content, and let me know who you want the Steelers starting QB to be next year. Peace.